We need to make house calls. We need to listen to people. We need to get back to basics. And we need to move forward. Because I am confident, my friends, I am confident that when we lead with our values and lead with our actions, we succeed. That is what the Democratic Party has always been about. And that is what we will continue to be about. When we communicate our message of inclusion and opportunity for everyone, the big tent that we are, that is our strength, my friends. And when we have these conversations, sometimes spirited, sometimes difficult, that's not a sign of weakness, that's a sign of strength as a party. And that's what we will continue to do. Because as I've said, and as Keith has said, we're at this where were you moment in our nation's history. Someday, they're going to study this era in American history, and they're going to study it alongside the Know Nothing movement. And they're going to ask the question of all of us, where were you in 2017 when we had the worst president in the history of the United States? And we will all be able to say, whether you're sitting here, whether you're sitting outside, or whether you're looking on across America, we will all be able to say the United Democratic Party led the resistance, ensured that this president was a one-term president, and elected Democrats across this country, from the school board to the Senate, to the state treasurers, to the state attorneys general, to state secretaries of state, to senators and governors.
Thomas Perez elected the first Latino leader of Democratic Party. Former Labor Secretary Thomas Perez was elected the first Latino chair of the Democratic National Committee on Saturday, narrowly defeating Rep. Keith Ellison, D-Min, at the end of a contentious battle over the fate of the beleaguered party in the age of President Trump. Perez's victory concluded the first contested race for the DNC leadership since 1985, a contest the party had extended by a month to allow more debate. It put in place the Democratic leadership that will navigate thousands of state and local elections, where the party hopes to reverse the losses of the past 6 years, and a 2020 presidential race could divide the party again. Ellison's defeat was a blow to the party's liberal wing, personified by activists, labor leaders and organizers, many of whom had supported the presidential bid of Sen. Bernie Sanders, IVT, and had come to Atlanta to cheer Ellison on. Many of them warned that by picking Perez, the party was alienating the growing resistance that has organized against Trump. The race was close enough that it required a second round of balloting, with Perez winning 235 of 435 votes cast. With tensions still high as the result was announced, 9 Ellison supporters chanted, "Party for the people, not big money," and stormed out of the room. "Someday, they're going to study this era of American history," Perez said after his win. "They're going to ask the question of all of us. Where were you in 2017 when we had the worst president in the history of the United States? We will be able to say that the Democratic Party led the resistance and made sure this was a one-term president." On stage, Perez gave Ellison the symbolic role of deputy party chair, and a Minnesota congressman gave a short speech asking his supporters to stay with the party and avoid recriminations. "We don't have the luxury to walk out of this room divided," Ellison said. Hillary Clinton, the 2016 Democratic presidential nominee, tweeted her support for both Perez and Ellison as representatives of a unified party, while former President Barack Obama congratulated "my friend" Perez in a statement. "I know that Tom Perez will unite us under the banner of opportunity and lay the groundwork for a new generation of Democratic leadership for this big, bold, inclusive, dynamic America we love so much," Obama said. Sanders, who had supported Ellison, said in a statement that it was imperative that Tom understands that the same old is not working, and that we must open the doors of the party to working people and young people in a way that has never been done before. Trump, in classic fashion, responded to the election by simultaneously congratulating and belittling Perez in a tweet. "I could not be happier for him, or for the Republican Party." The vote itself was tense. On Friday night, Democrats gathered at a downtown Western hotel here in Atlanta to meet drink and lobby for votes, and the Ellison campaign, along with allies of South Bend, Indiana, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, a third candidate, battled rumors that Perez might already have locked up the votes he needed. But by Saturday morning, it was clear that the race was up for grabs. Buttigieg used his nomination speech to quit the race, endorsing no candidate. As most of the 439 DNC members present cast the votes, 8 eligible members did not attend. Several DNC members got a text from the Ellison camp saying the congressman was grateful to have the support of Mayor Buttigieg, an endorsement that the mayor denied. In the first round of balloting, Perez won 213.5 votes to 200 for Ellison. 12 for Idaho Democratic Party Executive Director Sally Boynton Brown, 0.5 for Democratic strategist Jemu Green, and 1 for Buttigieg in the first round of balloting. Green endorsed Perez, while 2 fringe candidates who had won their votes backed Ellison. Members who are broad at half a vote. Perez's victory did not represent a Democratic shift to the right. On key issues, Perez's platform mostly resembled Ellison's. Perez promised to refocus on small donors and online fundraising. Ellison set a goal for low-dollar contributions from everyday Americans. 2. Account for While Perez and Ellison praised each other personally, the race was defined for outsiders by Sanders' support of the Minnesota lawmaker. Ellison was one of the few members of Congress who had backed Sanders for president. He billed himself as the unity candidate who would keep Sanders' rest of supporters in the party while embracing those who had backed Clinton. In the first weeks after Ellison declared his candidacy, the strategy seemed to be working, despite some hiccups. Labor unions that had endorsed Clinton, such as the American Federation of Teachers and the American Federation of State, County and Municipal Employees, got behind Ellison. Howard Dean, the most successful DNC chair in modern party history, dropped his plans to run again when Ellison said he would resign from Congress if elected to the full-time job. Senate Minority Leader Charles E. Schumer, DNY, who had frequently clashed with Dean over strategy and investments, endorsed Ellison and defended the first Muslim member of Congress against charges of anti-Semitism. But veterans of the Obama administration, where Perez had been a popular liberal force, encouraged the former Labor Secretary to run, and starting Dec. 15, he did. In progressive media, the race was frequently covered as a clash between the establishment and the revolution that had been proved right by the 2016 election. That was not how most DNC members chose to see it. In public forums, including the final one broadcast on CNN, Ellison and Perez declined to criticize each other. While progressive media outlets accused Perez of protecting the party's consultant class, DNC members who broke for Perez said that he had convinced them that he knew what state parties needed. Tom seemed to have a better handle on the job, said Kathy Sullivan, a former chair of New Hampshire's Democratic Party, who endorsed Perez after current New Hampshire State Chair Ray Buckley quit the race. Perez was also helped by a string of endorsements from Obama administration veterans, although, as Ellison backers noticed, he did not win any high-profile supporters of Sanders's to compete with Ellison's endorsements from Clintonites. The Feb. 1 endorsement of Perez. Do we stay with a failed status quo approach, or do we go forward with a fundamental restructuring of the Democratic Party? Sanders asked in a statement after Biden's endorsement. I say we go forward and create a grassroots party which speaks for working people and is prepared to stand up to the top 1%. Most of the DNC's membership, just 39 of whom had backed Sanders for president in 2016, did not view the contest as a stark ideological clash. Sanders supporters, including Ellison, had largely succeeded in moving the party's platform to the left. In interviews, some acknowledged that there would be walkouts by Sanders diehards in the states, but they argued that the daily outrages around Trump might bring them back into the process. That confidence was on display Saturday before the vote for chairman. DNC members debated whether to strike language from California's Christine Pelosi, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi's daughter, that would have restored a ban on corporate donations to the DNC. The prohibition was quietly rolled back during the controversial tenure of the previous elected DNC chair, Rep. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, DFLA. This resolution has nothing to do with non-profit organizations, said Larry Cohen, a former president of the Communications Workers of America who backed Sanders in 2016. This is to send a message loud and clear that the DNC itself, not candidates, not state parties, will restore the ban that President Obama put into effect when the language was struck. A few of the activists who had come to cheer Ellison, including members of National Nurses United, Progressive Democrats of America and Democratic Socialists of America, started a brief chant, "Money out of politics. Money out of politics."